Welcome to episode 4 of Alleged Tea. Today we are going to recap Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We are currently on episode 10 and season 15 of Real Housewives of New York. And we want to know, are you Team Erin or Team Uva?
As someone who was born and raised in New York, as well as I've been a hairstylist for 20 years, the amount of housewives that did not know what ballroom culture was, that did not know what Paris is Burning is, was
I know.
shocking to me and not shocking to me. Like when everyone was like, who's Grace Jones? I was like, girl, who invited you?
I know. I found that shocking specifically because it's the New York cast, but also like if you weren't aware of what Paris Burning was like in the 90s, or it's still culturally relevant. They just put it on Netflix like 2 years ago. But I would think at least you would know what Vogue is. Like Madonna kind of brought it even more so to the mainstream. So I was shocked that not only did they not know what it was, but then when they showed up, they were like they were so awkward about not being able to dress on theme. It was just so crazy. It was so wild to me. I mean, Raquel and her fiance were great.
Yeah, they nailed it, obviously. Jessel looked like she was dressing up as Madonna for Halloween. Like Erin and her husband showing up in drag. It was clever, but is it voguing? Is it ballroom? Maybe,
Yeah.
I mean, Uba was kind of giving face. She was giving face and body. And so was Jenna.
Jenna
Was giving like femme.
She had breast padding and butt padding, and I don't know. She was like, I feel like she really put a lot of thought and effort into it. But Erin and Abe, I mean, listen, Abe, is still such a devoted, clever ally. So I give him some props.
Did he not look like Mrs. Doubtfire? That's all I saw.
I mean,
Doubtfire.
Yeah, Bryn said it, and honestly, I mean, I guess there's a category for Mrs. Doubtfire drag. I guess there could be a category for that.
No, he kind of looked good, but he looked like he was an old lady.
Yeah, she's drag.
Overall, I was pleasantly surprised, though, by this episode. I think we've been very open and transparent about our struggles thus far with the new season of Real Housewives of New York. But overall, I felt like the energy was up. I love the fact that they had actual storylines. They were doing actual things, and it wasn't, a fictitious prank or distracting from the fact that they may be trying to produce themselves too much. I stand by the fact that I would watch like an hour special on Jenna's closet sale, like how she edited it, how she put it together, the promotion of it, her relationship with June Ambrose. Like, just I would watch oodles of hours on that woman's life.
I love June Ambrose. I wish she was on the cast. I texted the chat about this because June and I go way back. She's so cool. June, for anyone that doesn't know, June is Jay-Z's stylist forever and is like stylist to the stars, has styled Rihanna. She's just cool.
She's like a creative director extraordinaire, like a global figure.
But
I feel like
is production
she's too cool for this.
Wait, is production not playing the audience of Roni that last week we had a pregnancy prank and this week they were talking about abortions?
Yeah, that was so weird. It was so weird, and it was, and then because technically we're 2 episodes behind because last week was Thanksgiving,
right?
And then this week was the whole, which I actually credit to Bryn for talking about it, and then we're discussing Bryn's SA. So it was like, in what world do in 3 episodes you cover a pregnancy prank, abortion, and then SA? Like,
in the crazy world in the crazy world of
Yeah.
Real Housewives of New York. I will say that just to touch upon the episode that we missed because of the holiday break, I thought that was like the most genuine, honest, like powerful moment of the entire series so far, the reboot series, where Aaron and Jenna sat down and had like a real honest to God conversation about both of their experiences with like their reproductive health and abortion. I thought it was just like very raw and honest. I think it stood out so much because truthfully, those moments on the show are so few and far between.
Well, that's why I also texted the chat when Jenna's having her closet sale and June and Jenna are talking about Cass, and Jenna's talking about how Cass changed her whole life. She wants to be with her 24/7. She's obsessed with her. And then it's like, and we're going to never show her to you on the show. So, how am I supposed to really
Yeah.
understand that side of Jenna, who is really cool? And I like seeing her dressed up and be like all sexual. But like, you're not going to show me your fiance. Like, what am I watching? Your closet sale? I mean,
Yeah.
cool. But also, like, I would like a little bit more. And then when you compare it to the other franchises, Beverly Hills and Salt Lake City, at least right now, where there's so much about everyone's relationships as such an integral
Relationships.
part, this cast just like kind of misses. So I don't know if it's production didn't not push them far enough, but say like, hey, like, are you gonna like why are like I just don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I wish I was in those production meetings to understand.
I feel like this. I feel like Beverly Hills, like they're too rich to care. So it's like that's why we get so much like reality from them. Is because
I love
Kathy Hilton is so rich, she could give a fuck. Like she really could. So I think that's why that works. And for Salt Lake City, I kind of think the same thing. I think that like a lot of them are really too rich to care. But I also think with Salt Lake City, you get their really friends as well. Like a lot of them have known each other since like high school. So there is that kind of like camaraderie there and almost that like me and you could fight because we're going to be good anyway. So with New York,
who should we
it's like
talk
what
about
we
first? Who do we
what
like?
I
Who
mean.
can we? They're both so good. Salt Lake City and Beverly Hills. They're giving me so much joy.
They really are. I mean, the Salt Lake City. I'm sorry, I like literally rewound and watched the
Oh my
scene.
gosh.
Well, I mean, the latest episode of Salt Lake City, we saw Meredith as an adult finally make her bat mitzvah, which she had been in the beginning of the season talking about rehearsing and training with, and she was meeting with her rabbi, and it was actually like I thought it was a very sweet, genuine moment for Meredith. Meredith doesn't necessarily always show us her like feelings, so I thought this was a really sweet storyline for her. And then it happens, and it was obviously in Meredith fashion. She shows up in like a horse-drawn sleigh, very dramatic, but also very Meredith. It makes sense. Her mother was there, which was so sweet, and she was speaking with a lot of the other like female cast members. And then like midway through the actual service, we have Mary showing up, knocking
Oh
on
my
the
God.
glass, knocking on the windows. I was like crawling inside of myself. It's like this, monumental experience. Meredith is teary eyed. It's so important to her, and her husband is even teary eyed. It's such a beautiful scene and sequence in the show. And Mary's like, "Is this the door? Is this the door?"
Oh,
I was
it
like,
was
I
like
was,
I felt like I was watching an I Love Lucy sketch. Like I feel like that is like something Lucille Ball would do, where she's like walking around, she's like, "Where's the door? Where is the door?" So
I
But
was
they
like
give
beside
us so
myself.
much. That's one
They
episode.
do.
How much they give.
I
The
know. I
hair,
know.
oh my gosh,
Angie, the
yeah.
hair. Meredith always with the you can leave security. Why do they always have security
They
escorts?
all
Like,
First of
wow.
all,
they
I
always
live for
have
Meredith.
security.
I live for Meredith. Well, yeah, because Teresa was, fighting people. So I feel like that's why they always have to have security. But the fact that Meredith uses it, it is like the ultimate, like, white woman move. It's like, get the
Yeah,
security.
yeah. You can leave in her accent.
You
can leave.
You can leave.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
wait, hold on,
gosh.
because
That is
part of
hysterical.
we started. I don't know if any of you have kind of picked up on it, but there was like a Salt Lake City Wicked crossover that's been happening on TikTok. Are either of you aware of this? Have you been seeing it?
No. Wait, I
So,
haven't seen it.
stripper hair, as Angie
Brittany.
referred to her as, Brittany, has been kind of like just doing her own thing on TikTok. And for Wicked Weekend that happened a few weeks back, she did like an amazing, honestly, like stellar rendition of Defying Gravity to the point where like overnight, I think she had like maybe like a few thousand follow, like she had just recently started TikTok. Her voice is actually amazing, like the pitch and tone. She did like, the most iconic part of Defying Gravity, and it went like viral. At least it went super viral on like gay TikTok and like gay threads. But and she's kind of taken it and run with it. Now she like was joking around because she's always in Vegas, which is like makes me so uncomfortable and nervous. Like, what is happening with her relationship in Vegas? But she put on like some like kind of half-assed green alphaba makeup and a witch hat and was like running around and being like, "Oh, no one's recognizing me." It was actually pretty humorous and like self-referential and smart. I thought it was like really funny content. But she's a singer. Like, I don't know anything about this woman's past, but like she can belt out this song, which is like a very difficult, tricky song, as we know through the different people that have performed it for the production of Wicked and then the film Wicked.
I think actually I have seen it, and it is. I feel like she sang. Like they've got a clip of her. I think singing in church somewhere on Housewives.
Well,
I feel like I've
another
heard. Yeah, go ahead.
another reason that she's trending on TikTok is because there is a video that has gone viral. I think it's like almost 1 million views right now, and it's of a young woman, watching an episode of Real
Oh,
Housewives of
I've
Salt
seen
Lake City,
this.
and she's like, "How do I recognize Brittany? How do I recognize her?" And then she's like, "Oh, that's because she goes to a family photo album, opens a page, and it's her father's ex-wife." And I was like, "Wow!" It was.
I've seen
I
that.
loved it.
I
She looked very different in the
She
wedding photo.
look. I think it's proof that there's been an evolution. That's what I call that, an
Jan,
evolution.
well, this is a perfect segue. Jan, as our resident hairstylist,
I
what is
mean,
high body count hair, and who has it on the
and
cast?
and
oh my
and set it
gosh.
up. Set it up. Like, let us know.
All right.
Like,
So
describe this exchange.
all right. So first of all, Bronwyn is so messy and drops the fact um that Brittany was outside and talking about Angie and is essentially saying like, well, Angie's out here calling me a slut. Maybe like she's trying to hide the fact that she's a slut herself. So so Bronwyn was like, let me tell you about Brittany and what she said, and dropped it in the middle of Meredith's bat mitzvah. And so now Angie and Brittany are just having a back and forth. And Angie just hits Brittany with you have hair, like you have high body count hair. Like high body count, if you know, is how many people you slept with. And she's
Yes.
basically like saying you have slutty hair. Now, here's my take. First of all, Brittany has big hair. Brittany has prom hair. Brittany has very dated hair. There's nothing about Brittany has like slutty hair from 2002. Okay, so if we're talking about high body count, her high body count is from 2002. That's what her hair is giving. To me, and also having high body count hair is not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, it's not a bad thing because that means that men want to touch your hair. So my other thing is, if anybody has high body count hair, it's actually Angie and Whitney. That is my professional opinion.
Angie and Whitney, high body count hair. I mean, so wait, Jen. So hold on. I want to stay on this topic for a moment because this is what. Do you believe that is the style of their hair, or is it the style of what they're like the pieces that they're using? Because I
Well,
don't
like,
think it's
I mean, no, I
right.
mean, they all have extensions. They're all putting
Right.
extensions in. So I
Right.
don't necessarily think, I think it's more like how they're styling it. Like Angie, and she looked beautiful. Like her hair was shiny. It was, she had waves in it, and she had it all like to one, like parted on the side. Like, to me, that's giving high body count. It's giving high body count because it's like, I know I look good. I know you want to touch my hair. I know you want to take this home. That to
Right.
me is, and the same with Whitney. I've never really seen Whitney have a bad hair day. So to me, I'm like, Whitney's got high body count hair too, because her season 4, her extensions were on point. She's always got like shiny, touchable, pretty, voluminous hair. So to me, I'm like, that's high body count also. Brittany, that Angie's dick disc is classic. That is gonna live in infamy. It really was a misdirection to Brittany though, because Brittany did not have high body count hair. Brittany had 2002 prom hair.
Ooh. Ooh.
Is Bronwyn the messiest one on the cast? Like, kind of.
Bronwyn is such a she's such like she's a constant question mark to me, and this is why I don't necessarily understand her drive to be part of the show. I really don't. Um, Especially when I feel like every time she's filming, it's literally cracking away at the foundation of her marriage. Uh, like her husband Todd literally is like, "I'm done. Okay, like he could not be more uncomfortable. He is completely bothered by the entire scenario, and she keeps seemingly, I don't know if he is actually agreeing to show up, but it appears as though she keeps dragging him into more and more, and it's so bizarre. I don't understand what is driving her. She doesn't have a brand to sell. She's not pitching a company. She doesn't have like a liquor. She doesn't have like a workout program. Like I'm just kind of like, hey, why are you here, but what is your intention for being on the show? I mean, listen, maybe it's her lack of intention and the fact that she's not overproduced that makes her like a pretty messy, fun to watch fixture on the show. But I just don't get it. She's a question mark to me.
I think
What
she's
did she
bored.
say? She's like, yes, I think she's bored too. She's bored. She was like, we were
Oh,
friends
wait, what did you
for.
say?
She's like,
You think
she
she's
said I was
bored?
giving.
I think that's why she's
bored.
on
I
the
agree.
show. I think she's bored. You can't be a fashion
Wow.
girl in Salt Lake City. Like,
She said,
she got to move to New York.
She said, I'm giving you, our 1 minute is up. I gave you 5 minutes or something. And she's like, I'm going to tell her what she said. She's so salty.
Yeah, about
I agree.
Brittany.
I think she's bored.
Yeah. Brittany was like, "Oh, I thought we could really be friends," and Brown was like, "Yeah,
Now,
our 5 minutes is up."
Her husband travels 5 days a week or something. She's bored.
Yeah.
Oh, Todd travel. I feel how can Todd travel 5 days a week when he is constantly filming with them? Like, how is this?
He had to come home to watch her.
Oh, it's so disappointing.
We saw him walk over.
She lied. I think she lied
said,
about the show.
Let's step away, Bronwyn. You're getting out of line. You're starting to fight, Bronwyn.
I will say that I thought
she
looked.
was signing up for.
I thought Bronwyn looked fantastic. But I also would have appreciated if she didn't wear that to a bat mitzvah. So
I've never seen somebody wear a bra to a bat mitzvah. She's wearing a bra.
A sequined bra. A sequined bra.
It was insane. And then even her shrug didn't cover her shoulders. So as the resident Jew, you are not allowed to like show your shoulders in synagogue. Like every Jewish person was definitely like, "Oh my god," because that's like a no-no. Like, do you wear that in church? I feel like you cover like, you cover
you
up.
can't. You can't.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you're not
you have to
supposed
cover your
to.
shoulders in church, but at this point it's so like
Yeah.
there's so lackadaisical. So
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily matter. But wait, why was
So
there no DJ at her bar mitzvah party? Like
you
that
couldn't
was
hear the
my big
fighting.
question.
What about the fondue? The fondue was like leaky fondue. It was gross.
Yeah. So wait. So this is we're 2 episodes. We're kind of recapping, talking about 2 episodes. But one thing that I did want to point out about Salt Lake City, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, was I think we all agreed that Mary's moment with her son, who we've seen struggle, it hasn't been very clear up until this certain point. We saw her sit down and have a very honest, real conversation with her son on camera. And I just kind of want to hear, because it was a little bit of a outside of Mary's comfort zone. Mary has kind of always been, I don't want to say comic relief, because that's not, because I mean, her role is so much more than that. Like, she's obviously like best friends with Meredith. She has like huge ties to the community that where the show takes place. It was just a very different tone for Mary, and I thought it was really beautiful.
I agree. I thought it was really touching, and I thought it was like a vulnerable side to her. And I think also, especially in any kind of religious context, a lot of people don't talk about like that sort of drug abuse, mental health, all that stuff. And I thought as a mom, she really she really spoke and walked the walk and talked the talk of like, I'm not judging you,
Mm,
which is a
mm,
very Christian thing to do, is to judge and to say like, I'm not doing that is I thought it was a really emotional moment.
mm.
I think it was a good moment, and another reason why we appreciate the franchises that are willing to go there. It makes for great television because it's real, and we're much more invested. I'm literally like smiling ear to ear watching Salt Lake City, like laughing out loud. There's so much going on. I could rewatch it 4 times to really get all of it. But speaking of those who are bringing it, our sisters over in Beverly Hills are also bringing it, and
Yes.
I am here for Dorit telling Kyle to basically shut the fuck up, that it's her time to listen. I enjoyed the closing scene of that episode so much.
Oh my
Sorry,
God. I
Kyle.
mean, first of
It
all,
was so good.
I mean, is Cat. So here's my question, because I can't get enough of Kathy Hilton. I cannot get enough of her.
I I
I
die
mean,
for her. I am
her
such a Kathy stan.
level of wealth gives her this leeway where she does not give a fuck. And
Wait,
let me
she's
give
driving
context.
Beverly Hills in her Rolls Royce, saving money. She's delivering the suitcase invitations in her hat that's like a coffee filter, and she's
Oh,
eating the banana, and then she
And
tells
then
her assistant, "Be quiet, I have to pray."
I have to
And
pray.
the whole thing is so absurd. It's like you can't make this stuff up. And then even when they get to the beach at the destination, and Kyle's like, "Did my sister bring her living room to the beach?" Like everything is so Kathy that she does.
Yeah.
And she's arguing.
Yeah.
Oh, another hairstylist moment. She's like, "I don't want so many extensions in my hair. I'm just going to eat dinner and it's going to make me hot." Like she has this thing with her extensions making her hot. And she's like, "No, no,
Yeah.
no, don't put one more." And he's like, "Just one more." And she's like, "No." It's so funny.
oh my
The
gosh.
the
Beverly
brilliance
Hills, I don't
of
mind seeing their glam. I actually don't mind seeing Beverly Hills do glam on camera.
Wait,
It's
wait, but
hysterical.
but Jennifer Tilly walks up with that little boat Louis Vuitton thing, and she's like, And they're like, that's a $35,000 piece of art. And she's like, I like to make my hotel rooms look like a store.
But Jennifer
What am I
Tilly got that
watching?
Simpsons money. Jennifer Tilly, who knew
Right,
that she had
which we
Simpsons
did not.
money?
We that's what we learned on that episode, is that she was married to one of the major producers, one of the creators, I believe.
Creator,
And
like the creators,
right, and
yes.
through the divorce, even though he received a payout from the show when he left, she still receives like 15 to 20% of like overall profit. So that results in like she's making anywhere between $4 to $6 million a year from passive income from The
Yeah,
Simpsons.
that is absurd.
Respect.
Yes,
That's
Respect.
amazing. That's
100.
such a beautiful
No,
holiday story, Hollywood
I
story.
know.
her, no, her and Sutton both know how to get
Yes.
divorced. Those women,
And
if you're
they're
getting
very,
divorced, you call them.
I,
So if Bronwyn
yeah.
ever
yeah.
goes through a divorce, she better call one of them because they know how to get the bag.
Yeah, well, that's why like Sutton keeps trying to help Kyle through it, but also like I feel like everybody is over Kyle this season because even Mo showed up to the house and could not even be bothered. Like he was just like,
Yeah.
whatever, good to see you, bye.
She's on
So
another planet. She's like, should I order you sheets? And he's like, no, I got sheets. And she's like, what about towels? He's like, nope, I have a washing machine. What is she
Mm.
talking about? What are you
I will
doing?
I
You
will say
kicked
that
this man out of
that
your house.
is that's the saddest part of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for me, is like the just like dissolving of their relationship, because they used to be
yeah.
fun. I used to really love him. Like I used to think he was like such a like fun, house husband, or however you want to call
I like him.
the husbands on
I
the
do like
show.
I like him. I don't think, I mean, I don't know like what happened like intimately between the
Right.
two of them, but like it was, I don't know if it's on the show, but oh, is it that she gets mad that he replaced a picture of her with a Dancing with the Stars picture, but like she also does the same thing, and like she's texting PK memes all the time, and like I don't know, she just like she is like so off to me. I think he's clearly a flirtatious guy. The rumors are going around since Beverly Hills started that
Yeah.
he was not faithful to her. I My gut feeling is that whatever was going on there, she knew about it. Maybe they had an agreement, maybe it didn't happen in their home, like the family life is protected,
Yeah.
like there are relationships where that exists. I just don't her behavior this season is so bizarre. It's almost, it's like you see even Kathy is like struggling to defend her. She's kind of like sipping like because Kyle seems to
Well,
get away with murder.
here's the thing. You bring up the Kathy factor. Kathy was just on Watch What Happens Live, and she in the past has not been Mo's biggest fan, and she stated
Oh
that.
yeah, she
But
said she likes
they
him.
asked, yeah, she's like, the last time I saw him, it went really well, and it was a really pleasant visit. So even when Kathy starts to, running out of ammunition from kind of taking someone down, there's some trouble there. But you know,
Well, she said she was mad at Dorit for not defending Teddy at BravoCon. If that is not the
mm,
biggest reach I've ever heard, I I don't think you get mad at friends for not defending other friends. Like the
for sure.
Bravoverse has never liked Teddy. That's not like a new thing. Everyone was, even she was always like very stale and boring on the show. So Kyle was always trying to make her happen, and everyone was like, "Stop trying to make her happen." And she was like, "She is happening," but like, no, she's not. They don't like her. And then like, why
Yeah.
would Dorit be like, I love, like that was, you don't get mad at your friends for that. That was so bizarre. I can't, I don't know. I can't watch her.
We gotta finish out like Roni really quick because this last episode ended with this drama between Erin and Uba. And I kind of find it optically a little interesting because,
Mm,
Erin's going around saying that, um, Uba's coming for me. And Uba's like, well, me and Aaron have spoken and everything seems to be like, I thought everything was cool between us. And optically, I don't think it looks good for Erin. It's kind of given a repeat of the first season. It's giving this very much like, you know, this Black woman's coming after this white girl, and it's just not
problematic narrative. Yeah.
So problematic, all those things. And it's cringy. And I'm wondering, I feel like the producers are kind of not reading the room on that one also. And I don't know. So I want to know what your thoughts are.
It's uncomfortable. And I also think it's not rooted in a lot of reality. LOL, because it's a reality show.
Right.
But she, I will say that like Erin, I don't think I've ever met her personally, but I will say that from it just sounds like this is part of her shtick. Like she is unaware, and she will claim ignorance as opposed to understanding, what a real microaggression is, what is embellished, like all of these things that are quite harmful and toxic when you roll them up and then spew them out or claim, make an accusation against a fellow cast member who thinks they think they're friends. Uba thinks that they are friendly. And the optics of her, extremely privileged white woman saying this about a woman of color on the show is just like, I don't know. Erin's kind of always given me like cultural bad vibes, like just doesn't understand, or like I don't think that she has like ill intention, but I also don't think she updates her knowledge. She doesn't update her education in terms of how certain words can be weaponized.
No, I totally agree. And it was just it just made me like so angry and like so uncomfortable, because I was just like, we're we doing this again? And like nobody's saying anything to her. And then, again, when Uba's like speaking up for herself and defending herself and calling Erin out, like at least that's the thing. I will say this. Brynn at least takes some accountability for like, I talk shit, I embellish, I'm a pot stir, all these things. Erin does
What is it called? The leaky pigeon?
The leaky pigeon. Erin does it to find the leaky pigeon. And it's like, okay, girl, then take accountability.
If I never hear the term leaky pigeon, it will be too soon. Anytime that I've come across that phrase, it's been against my will, either on like Bravo threads or like, Bravo Instagram, like all of these, it's like leaky pigeon, leaky pigeon. I never want to hear leaky pigeon again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather hear high body count here. Really keep pigeon.
Yes.
That's my high tea.
Oh God,
high
kick
body
us off.
Count her.
Emily, what is your high tea and your drip drop of the last two episodes of the franchises?
Well, my high tea is that I'll forever be thinking about who has high body count hair and who doesn't. And Jan does my hair, so I'll always ask her. I'll defer to her. My drip drop, I don't know. I've given up on Roni, so like I don't even think that they like count. Kyle is kind of my drip drop because she's an executive producer. Is she an executive producer on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
No. None of them are.
Is she a producer? Oh, I thought Kyle is. Well, I feel like Kyle's a producer because she doesn't give us. She's not like. How has she not told us if she's dating or has had sex with Morgan Wade? Are you kidding? How many years? It's been 2 years. I want to know. Are you doing it or not?
She's figuring it out. She's still figuring it out.
No, she's figured it out. She knows. And I want to know because I had to struggle through watching. I'm into the second year of this. So that's my drip drop. That's it for me. Okay.
So my high tea is it's tied for two, but I'm gonna do a franchise high tea. Okay, my franchise high tea is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They give me, I mean, Emily, you put it best. I don't want to steal your words, but they just give you so much. They give you so much, and they give you such like highs and low lows. Like the balance is wild. So yeah, I'm just like, I love Salt Lake City. I think they do just a really great job. I walk away and I believe that those women are friends or that they have crossovers in their real lives. And my drip drop is so easy because literally I forgot she was even on the show. Becky Minkoff. She appeared and I was like, it took me several moments to be like, what is happening? So yeah, maybe with the passing of time, we'll see less and less of characters that don't really, cast members that don't really move the needle.
My high tea is Mary Crosby looking through the windows.
Yes. Woo!
And trying to get into the bar mitzvah party. She's my high tea. And the convo that she had with her son, and she just, she just brings it every time. Every time she brings it. My drip drop is, I don't know. It's a tie between Erin and Kyle. It's a tie between the two of them.
Oh.
That's my drip drop. I think Erin is walking a very thin line on just her, being like, just like you said, like culturally educated. And Kyle, I think Kyle needs to come. She's in La La Land and she needs to come back to reality. So
yeah. You know what it is? And I will say that me and my husband, we were both like Kyle stans. We loved her. We thought she was great. And then there was like a shift that occurred. And I just feel like she's now like operating from a place of fear. Like she's afraid, she's scared, she doesn't want to say certain names, she doesn't want to do this or that. And then I'll say with Erin, it's like her inability just to update her social awareness, her social education. I don't know like how to ask people to be aware. Like I don't know how to like, hey.
It's all of it is weird, and I want to like honorable mention to Brittany. I don't know why.
Yes.
I feel like Brittany's this year's fetch. It's like everybody keeps trying to make her happen, and it's like,
what about me? But and also both of you, if neither of you have seen it, and if any of our listeners haven't seen it, please go to Brittany's TikTok and check out her stellar rendition of Defying Gravity.
Brittany. I want to say her name Brittany. It's like spelled
Brittany. So do
different.
I. Brittany.
Thanks so much for listening. And did you know that you can actually watch us on YouTube as well as traditionally listening to us on Spotify? And we hope to see you next week. And remember, everything you heard in this episode happened AllegedTEA.